What's up, great girlfriends? It's Sybil here, and this pod mama has a pod baby. That's right, the Grace Podcast, which is a spiritual development podcast dedicated to helping you grow in your relationship with God through the Word of God. Listen in each week as we take your life, plug it into scriptures, and refresh it with biblical insights to make you more bold and brave each day. You can log on to my website, SybilAmoody.com, to catch up on the most recent episodes and leave your iTunes review. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the Great Girlfriends Podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandis.
And thank you guys for joining us.
We're so excited. So we have not recorded in so long.
Oh my gosh. You know what? This whole pregnancy, like deliver a baby, like that whole thing you did, that cliff jump, through everything, like the whole schedule. So I'm sitting here with new mompreneur, Brandis.
Oh, I'm so excited, guys. So the last time we actually recorded, Sybil and I we were in the city. We were in a studio, and I was big and pregnant with Miss Sky, who at the time I didn't know was a girl.
No, or that she was as big as she was.
No, definitely not.
Like, who thought you had a 6-pound baby that early?
I know.
Oh my goodness. So we now have moved her into mompreneur mode, and welcome to this side of the world.
Thank you. So at this moment, guys, we're actually sitting on my sofa.
Yes.
Recording. And
we moved everything to Brooklyn.
And we're looking at Sky sleeping.
Yes. Oh my gosh, girlfriends. She is so beautiful and so peaceful and so sweet and calm. And you ever held a baby that's just like tender? She just has these expressions where she just like looks at you with love, and I'm like melting over her.
Yeah,
she's the flavor of the month.
Sybil is, yeah.
I don't believe you should put her down. Well, that's my problem right now. I told Brandis, I don't feel like she is doing what Scott wants her to do. You definitely are like...
Sky is good. Sky is great.
No, she wants to be held.
She does not want to be held. She's laying her packing plate. She's like, Mom, take care of your business.
She really is.
I'm good.
And she chills out. Yeah. And I have to salute you on that, because, I don't recall putting my babies down when they were that delicious. Now I be throwing them down. Get off me. But so how does it feel?
It feels so amazing.
Yeah?
It really does. It makes me cry. I can start talking about her and crying.
I know. When you first looked at her,
I don't know. First of all, it's so difficult. I think I talked about this on one episode, like, to connect the fact that you're pregnant and you understand that you're carrying a baby. But for me, I never, ever really connected that with like, oh, a baby is coming. Like,
right.
I could never connect the two. And so when she came 6 weeks early, Rich and I were in the middle of a move. And as the movers were there, my water broke. And, but I mean, I was thinking after I had her, I was like, it was you. Like, you were the one who was with me all this time. And every time I think about it, I'd just be boo-hooing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it was you. It was you that was with me here. And it was you that was there. Like, just to know that there was a person there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so incredible.
And like seeing her little face and body.
Seeing her face and just bonding with her and seeing so much of myself in her.
Oh my gosh.
And her personality.
Just like you. She looks, girlfriends, if you haven't seen her picture, go on the Instagram under Great Girlfriends and check her out. She looks just like Brandis. Head, profile, everything, eyes, everything.
She's so incredible. So she's my determined little pumpkin. She's very determined. Very.
Wonder where she gets that from.
I don't know. I'm like excited for her to grow up and to see who she's going to be.
Me too. I'm glad she's here. I couldn't imagine waiting for her longer. Like, if we had to wait longer, like, it would have been another week before we saw her.
And the fact that I can't imagine being pregnant that long.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Sybil, I owe you a huge apology.
Oh yes, on microphone. Get closer.
I owe you.
Let them hear.
Great girlfriends, I owe Sybil an apology because I was not a very pleasant pregnant woman to be around all the time.
You don't think so?
And I just now recognize that I'm different now that I'm not pregnant.
Really? Well, look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he do it, Jesus?
Shut up.
Lord Jesus. I told my husband, I am free. I'm free. I got Branda's back. But I was nervous, y'all. I was nervous that post-pregnancy, Branda's might be like this, like, complete, like, mom, like beast type mama, like over the top, like protecting the baby and just being like hardcore. I didn't know. I was nervous, so I was kind of tiptoeing and monitoring.
Am I laid back? I'm laid back.
No, but you Branda's again.
I know.
I missed you.
I know.
But I mean, I like the pregnant girl. I just don't prefer her. Gee whiz.
Oh, Lord.
So what y'all don't know, real quick, I know we gonna get into the episode. The last time we were together, we had salads, and she did actually get me a salad. This was at the studio, and Kristen was there, and Tiffany was there, and they left off her French fries. So what y'all don't know is half of the time that we were recording, Branda's was trying to get her French fries from this deli.
We were in the middle of recording, and I was walking
she left out. She went to go get her French fries, and me and Kristen looking like, okay. She just pulled like pregnant woman. Like, I mean, nothing mattered but those French fries. And
I was like, you know what? Sybil and Kristen got it. And ladies, I'm sure you enjoyed it. So you didn't need me there.
She went after those French fries, y'all. And so moments like that, I'm just glad those are over. Like the whole I'm hungry and it's like that now moment.
That's hilarious.
But
How are you? What's going on in your life? Great.
Girl.
You just moderated a panel.
I did. I moderated a panel for the Nigerian Film Festival in Brooklyn, and it was fun. There were some really dynamic women on the panel that are all from marketing and branding and advertising and so forth, PR. And so the panel was about, I have my product, now what?
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, so that was
incredible.
I know. It was really interesting. And that's like obviously something that I'm very strong at that topic. So it's interesting for me to be moderating and not on the panel where I wanted people to say certain things and they didn't say it, and I was trying to pull it out of them and they just never said it, which was fine. Yeah. But the perspectives were really good. I think the audience got great feedback. The festival was good.
Perfect.
Yes. And I got to rock an amazing Byron Lars skirt.
Oh, that skirt was do you have a picture? Wait a minute. Do I have a photo?
You never posted it.
You never sent it to me.
Sorry.
We took it with your camera.
Oh, sorry.
We need to post that on the Great Girlfriends. Great Girlfriends, if you guys don't know about designer Byron Lars, as you know, I am a huge advocate for designers of color. And Byron Lars is absolutely one of my favorites. But he gifted you with that skirt.
Me, yes.
And that skirt was insane. So we're going to post that, Sid.
Yes, and check out byronlars.com, right?
Yes.
It's his website. Just beautiful designer clothing. I absolutely love him as a person and in his clothing. And Brandis, thank you for connecting me as a great girlfriend should and would. You put me in contact with his office, and they have been amazing. Dylan even got her own little jacket from him. Very cute. Very cute.
Dylan is a fashion.
She is. So y'all
can tell how much we missed y'all because we just want to chat today. I don't know what we do actually have a topic.
Yes. But before we get into the topic really quickly, if you happen to hear outside sound, it's because we are at our new studio here in Brooklyn. Yes. And so we're getting the acoustic sound. So please excuse some of that if you happen to pick any of that up. We're going to try to, and if you hear little whimpers from Sky, that's her way of saying, hello, great girlfriends. Yes. Hello.
And mommy, I'm going to be up in a few, and I'm going to be hungry.
Yep. All right. So what are we talking about?
So I put out a post on our Facebook group, and I asked the ladies to help us come up with some topics for the next few podcasts. And I believe it was Erica Goddess, the goddess, who said that she wanted to talk about staying motivated. And so we decided to do an entire episode dedicated to staying motivated. So yeah, that's it. Which is so important.
Right. Absolutely important. I think particularly for me, this was really good because, and for a lot of women and filmpreneurs and mompreneurs, when you're like out here doing this thing,
Yes.
And some people call it the daily grind, or you're setting your routine. And honestly, or you just living life so many times, it's very easy to get bogged down.
Yeah.
So, Brandis, why do you think this topic is so important?
Because it is not easy to stay motivated.
That's real.
It's
That's
not
real
easy.
Talk.
And
This
people are
day-to-day.
and people are going through stuff. And you've got like everyday life stuff happening, and you're trying to stay motivated on a business goal or personal goal or whatever it is. And it's just so easy to get distracted.
I think so too. And I definitely feel like going back to our social envy conversation that we had, I think it was episode 16, but having the pressure of living out your life publicly and privately weighs you down. And I think sometimes it's too much pressure for people to have to live up to everyone's expectations. And, you know, their own included, but being forced or feeling like they have to set a standard that they can't live by.
Yeah.
And you honestly, you know, there are so many people trying to keep up and stay up and be places that they don't need to be. And it makes them very tired. It's taxing.
It's taxing. And sometimes life just happens.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. And
Yeah.
then there's other times when literally there was Tiffany, the Budgetnista, on one of her posts on Facebook, which I loved it. Shout out to Tiffany, the Budgetnista.
Yes,
We love you,
yes.
girl. But one of the things she said on one post on Facebook, she was like, I don't feel like entrepreneuring today. I feel like I'm going to take a nap.
She took a nap.
And
I love that.
And I was like, oh my God, I know exactly how that feels.
But did you secretly feel guilt for her? Because I felt like, ooh, Tiffany, you taking a nap, you're going to lose an hour of productivity, but you need that nap.
I didn't
Just do it, girl. Just do it.
I didn't, because I actually have done it, you know, but at the same time, I thought it was so bold for her to post that. Because
Very bold.
because when you're like out here grinding, you almost sometimes don't want people to think you're taking a break.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I know people, I've you know, in some of the emails and responses we've been getting from girlfriends, people wonder if anyone sees them. Like, can you see the work I'm doing? Will I be rewarded? Will I be promoted? Like, I'm working, I feel like I'm being consistent, but I'm not getting certain results. Or am I being overlooked? Am I ever going to get married?
So real.
You know what I mean?
Am I ever going to get acknowledged?
Am I going to get acknowledged? It's hard to stay motivated.
Am I ever
going to
get invited to certain things?
Yeah. Will I ever make progress that I feel like I deserve? You know?
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
So it's complex for people. But, you know, the thing about it is, if you are not your own motivator, you will completely lose momentum. And if you lose momentum, you will completely cave in. And if you cave in, you're going to quit.
That's
And that's at whatever you're doing.
That's so true.
Right?
That's so true.
You can't wait on anyone else to do it. And I can cheer you on all day, Brandis, and you could cheer me on. But in those quiet internal moments, in that what someone called the alternate universe of your voice in your head, if you don't keep that voice empowered,
oh my goodness,
it's going to disempower.
That's
right.
So true.
And
if
it disempowers you,
and that's with everything.
With everything.
That's staying motivated in your relationship.
Yes.
That's staying motivated with your business.
Yes.
That's staying motivated at work.
Yes.
That's staying motivated with your physical exercise.
Right.
Like,
as a mom.
Yep.
Like everything that you do in your friendships, just everything. And it's not easy to want to do all things great.
Right.
But I know as women, we tend to strive.
And this is okay, so this is another episode which we're going to talk about. Is it even possible to do all things great?
I don't think it's possible to do all things great.
Did you see the interview with Shonda Rhimes that Oprah did recently?
Not yet. The Super Soul Sunday? I didn't see it.
Because she basically, and this is, again, totally another episode, but she talked about how if she was great at work, then she was failing at motherhood. If she was great at motherhood, because inevitably she was missing something. So it was like if she was like really doing what she needed to do to like kill it at work, she was missing a soccer game. If she was making that soccer game, then she was missing her opportunity to write the last part of an episode. But anywho, so that's gonna be another episode.
Yep. Yeah,
we're gonna definitely talk through that, but just, you know, a teaser for the next episode.
Just a teaser, because that is definitely true. We're going to get into that whole harmonious piece. But the motivation, being able to stimulate yourself.
Yeah.
Being able to empower yourself.
Yes.
Being able to ignite yourself. That's what we're talking about today. the ways that we can keep ourselves above when we really feel like everything is at a low. Or we feel like we don't have the strength to keep moving forward because maybe it's grief.
Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's like, this thing isn't moving forward the way I thought it should be.
Yeah. And I definitely think, I can't speak for men, and we do have a percentage of our audience that is male, so I can't speak for you. I can speak for women in terms of how we relate to our strive. And we're so aspirational in a lot of things. We want the best beauty products. We want, to find the best jeans. We want the best shoe. We want everything to be almost the best. And if not the best, what's the second? Right. What's the third? Right. What's the thing closest to the best? Right. And so in that strive to always have the best and things like that, a lot of times you just get tired.
Yeah. It's ladies, let me tell you guys, it is exhausting. And for those of you that are moms out there, now that I can somewhat relate, Sky is 4 weeks old. I'm exhausted. So it's like, what do you do to stay motivated? And hopefully the things we talk about today will be really helpful.
Yes.
Do we want to get into our tips, or we want to ask each other the questions
Let's go questions first.
All right. So guys, just so you know, Sybil wants to let go of our questions. So thank God you have me around to keep Sybil on course.
We can't thank God enough for you, Brandis. You keep us all on course. You are such a great girlfriend. And if you didn't have me saying this robotic statement, I'm only kidding. I love you.
Oh my God. Okay. So do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, cool. So my first question to Sybil is going to be, Sybil, is there a time when you did not feel motivated at all?
Yes, Brandis, there are many times.
Well, give us one example.
One example I think of immediately is when I was in my last semester of grad school here in New York, and I was severely depressed. When I say depressed, I mean I was at what I consider the lowest point in my life. And I was at a space where I was in denial about some things that I had gone through. I didn't want to acknowledge them emotionally, so I was at war internally. Mm-hmm. Yet I had all of these outside pressures. I had to finish my thesis. I had to graduate by May. I mean, these are demands that I placed on myself. And I wasn't strong enough to handle it. I mean, I literally could not muster up enough strength. And I can recall one night, this was the one night, I had a nightmare that just kind of kept spiraling in my head. And I kept trying to escape it. Mm-hmm. The nightmare was the truth of the very thing that I'm denying, which we'll get into in a later episode. But I couldn't escape it anymore. Wow. And it woke me up in a sweat, screaming and crying and things so forth. And I remember calling a friend and sharing with this friend what I was going through. And when I hung up the phone is when God, the Holy Spirit, when God started speaking to me and saying to me, you are giving up, or you haven't given yourself a chance. You haven't given me a chance. Like, you haven't tried me. You keep trying to, you call a friend, you try to talk yourself out of some of the emotional issues that you're facing, but you won't talk to me. And so, that's when I began. God really sent me on this journey of gratitude. Okay. And really started to teach me how to appreciate the simplest things. Brandis, I would take the afternoon, I should have been in the library writing or whatever, and I would take an afternoon and I would go sit at the Riverside Park, which was across the street from our building, and I would just watch birds. Wow. I mean, I probably looked bananas because I'm sitting out there probably with a security sweater on, holding myself. But I would just sit outside and I would just watch the birds. I would watch the sky. I would look at the trees. I would just look at grass. And I just took a really, really deep appreciation for God's creative power. Wow. Like, literally all I could do was just sit in awe of God. Right. And all of the beauty in nature that he's given us. Wow. And that and from there, it sent me on a deeper sort of quest and a search for more ways to be grateful. Wow. And that was something that pulled me out of very deep, dark places, because I built a really strong, super tight relationship with God, where I can be in a very deep or a dark moment, or I could be in just a low moment. And I could sit back and reflect on all the times that I didn't see a way and God showed me a way.
Right.
Or I can look at nature and just appreciate if God has that much detail in his hands.
Right.
How how much more would he have my details?
Right.
And that's moved me out of a place where I can't stay low for long.
Wow.
Like, I literally can't spend too much time low because I know too much about God.
Right.
I know I've had too many experiences with his grace and his goodness. And gratitude is something that propels me.
Right.
And so that one experience was one that was a resonating one because I could have taken my life. And I would have missed out on all the great years that I've had since 2001.
Wow. And women need to hear that because we don't know where women, not just women. I mean, I think you guys know that my friend committed suicide. So you don't know where people are.
You never
people
know.
need to hear that.
We're smiling on the outside, on the inside, just aching, aching. And and that for me, that motivation that I got from God to experience life in a grateful place has sustained me.
Wow.
It sustains me. It's something that we, my husband and I cultivate. We teach it to the kids. I am very conscious about being a light in dark places.
Right.
Like bringing light to the table.
Right.
And bringing light to social media or bringing light to an event. Wherever I go, I look to bring light. So when someone says, wow, you're a light, I'm like, oh, I'm winning.
Yes.
I'm doing it. This is working.
Yes.
That motivation that God gave me to put gratitude first.
Right.
Is working.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So that was a really, I think that was a really pivotal point in my life. It definitely was a major turning point for sure.
Wow.
For sure. For sure.
And how did the semester end?
Oh, I graduated. With minor revisions.
Nice.
So yes, I graduated, and a year later came back to New York, met my boo, and so forth. And as the story goes,
I love it.
As the story goes, so it's one of those things that I'm really, really grateful for. Yeah, I'm gonna take out all this silent space.
Okay.
So I have a question for you, Brandis.
Okay.
What do you read or who do you follow that really motivates you?
So I listen to podcasts.
Which ones, Brandis?
So one of my favorite podcasts is Smart Passive Income.
Pat Flynn.
Yes. That's one of my favorite podcasts. I listen to that podcast. I used to listen to it almost every day. Now that I am a mom, I don't listen to it every day. Actually, I'm listening to something else now called Brain Audit. But anyway, so I listen to that podcast, and then I read a lot of books. So one of my most recent books that I read that I love is by Elon Musk. And it's about Elon Musk.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know, Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla. He's one of the founders of PayPal, also SpaceX, and I'm mildly obsessed with his story and with Tesla. But he does things in such an unconventional way, but no one knows like the journey he's had. And up until this point, no one had ever written about his life where he had actually been involved in the writing process or providing the information. And so that book was just incredible for me as an entrepreneur to read. So I love reading books like that. Like for me, I read, one of my favorite books in the Bible is Joshua. I love Joshua. Like love Joshua.
Wow. What about the book of Joshua?
I love the fact Joshua was so afraid, and there was so many, if you can read through there's probably one chapter where literally it says, do not fear, do not fear, do not be afraid. I'm with you. Don't be afraid. Like it's like repeated over and over again. And I remember reading that, through Joshua this summer. And that was really, really motivating for me. I have lots of books that I read.
Don't forget the one that you sent me. I mean, y'all, she had me on a 5-hour flight brain dumping.
Which one?
Imagine trying to sleep through the night coming from LAX to JFK.
In the pit.
And I can't sleep because, no, Crush It.
Oh my
Crush
goodness.
it, y'all.
Crush It.
Oh my gosh.
Crush
This
It.
book was so empowering.
Crush It was amazing. Crush It will make you want to crush it.
Crush It sends you like spiraling.
Crush It
like
was-
you're completely soaring at that
Oh
point.
yeah. I need to go back and
How do you
reread
say his
that
last
book.
name? Gary
Vanderchuck.
Vanderchuck.
That was an amazing book. And then there's another book. I actually bought a case of these books. I used to pass them
There
out.
she go with tracks, y'all. Y'all know she likes to pass out
People-
tracks.
And let me tell you, when I find a book that I like, I am like your biggest free person.
You're the promoter?
Like, yeah, free promoter. Like,
Good.
ain't
So when I
getting-
write my book, you got me.
Girl, I ain't got paid. I ain't getting paid a dime, and I will push that book. But another book that I love was In the Pit with the Lion on a Snowy Day. And my sister, I think, actually recommended that book. But it's by an author, Mark Batterson. And that's another book. When people call me and they're having a tough time, I'll send them that book. It is such an incredible book. He has several other ones, but that book for me, I remember that book taking me through like an entire year of just a really tough year for me for HFR, when I like needed something to just keep me up, and I read that book probably 3 times.
Wow.
So reading, podcasts, those things have just kind of kept me afloat, honestly. It's like what you put in your brain, what you put in your mind.
Right, but what do they do for you?
You know what? If you can do this, I can do it too.
So true.
And that's
So
the biggest
true.
thing. It's like for me, Elon Musk's book was, this dude has built an entire automobile factory in California. There are no automobile factories in California.
Yeah.
You know, he's building spaceships in California. Like, it's so reading those stories and seeing how big his vision was and how committed he was to making it happen, and how people didn't believe in him at first, and there were even some times that he had was tough, and seeing him kind of go through that was incredible for me. The same thing with Joshua. The same thing with, as I was reading through In the Pit with the Lion on a Snowy Day, there's a lot of stories in that book. But for me, just kind of reading those people's stories, just it helps me to say I'm not in this alone.
Right.
Other people have had weak moments too. So
No, it's real.
yeah.
I also have one, if I could recommend, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich is
I haven't read that in a long time.
Oh my gosh. It's such a good book. It's almost like one of those reference materials where sometimes when I need to go in and dig up some materials that I feel are like my essentials, I go in and pull little excerpts out that I love to chew on. And some of the questions that he asked in the back of the book will really help to stimulate me a lot of times when I just need to get clarity. So I love
gotta go
that
back and
book.
read that one.
There's another one. This is my one last one. It's Earl Nightingale. Have you ever?
Yes. What's the name of that book?
Essence of Success.
Yes, I've read it.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
Earl
I need to go-
Nightingale.
That's an old,
Oh my gosh.
oldie.
What? It's such an oldie but
It is
goodie.
an
But see, I
oldie.
like the classics.
I love the
because-
classics too, but it's an oldie.
It's an oldie. But girlfriends, if you can go on YouTube and you can look up Earl Nightingale, and you can listen to there's one, The Secrets. So girlfriends, you can jump on YouTube and like listen. I think there's like a 30-minute excerpt of Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. It is one of the most phenomenal reads and listens that you can do. I mean, aside from listening to us, I don't know, right?
Yes.
Or maybe the audio Bible. I mean, I can't imagine anything else you'd want to listen to, but
I love it.
I'm just saying.
I love it. So girlfriends, we just gave you a whole slew of great resources.
Yeah, and these are going to be good because, Brandis, right now, I mean, you and I are both in this phase where we are, we're planning out Q2 and Q3 of 2016.
Right.
So, girlfriends, if you haven't started your 2016 planning, put these on your reading list now.
Absolutely.
So that you can read through the holidays and be prepared in 2016 to crush it.
Absolutely. So I have another question for you, Sid. Okay, so the question is, so how do you stay motivated when things just aren't working out? Like, let's say you've been working on
Go eat some ice cream.
Yeah,
right?
and after you eat the ice cream,
Popcorn?
whatever.
people.
So, I mean, like, you have this thing, you've been working on it and you've been working on it and you've been working on it, but it's not paying the bills. You know, that thing, it doesn't seem like it's getting any traction. You're not getting recognized for it. You're not getting the business isn't coming in the way you want it to. Like, how do you stay motivated?
I can't relate to this question at all. How do I stay motivated?
How do you stay motivated?
You know
how do you stay the course?
Well, you know, I believe, and I think you believe the same thing. I believe in like going against the grain. I like to move against friction. I'm kind of aggressive when I feel like I'm getting pushed in an opposing direction. I really, really push myself harder. Like, I have gotten to a point, and I think that we all should be so laser focused on what we want to achieve that friction feels like just a pressure in the right direction.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
You feel so much friction that all it does is confirm that you're doing it right.
Wow.
It doesn't make you doubt. It assures you. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, when the enemy comes with everything to take something from you,
wow,
it should be an assurance that you really are on point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I've learned how to take the friction, the opposition, the doubts, and convert them into like equivalent affirmation.
Wow.
I really have. And you know what I've done though? The reason why I've had to do that is because sometimes there's no one that you can call on, and there's no one that can really understand how you feel about a situation or
so give us one situation.
Man,
you know I'm gonna ask.
I know.
The girlfriends have to know. You got to give them something.
But how does it feel like I'm giving all the situations on this episode?
Well, you didn't ask the questions. I came up with these questions. That was my question.
I gotta think on this one.
Just go.
I have to think of one.
You can't think of any?
I gotta think of one.
You want me to give one?
I can't think of one right off where everything...
Stay the course. I'll give one recent.
Okay, so hold on. Because I'm cutting all this.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, I've learned how to just stay the course.
Okay.
So Brandis, give us a scenario where you've had to do the same thing.
Well, what's funny is I'm going to give a scenario that's going to seem really crazy to some people, but and this was very recent, and I have lots of business examples which I can give you guys because Lord knows I did HFR for years and was so broke behind it, and so I think I have given you guys examples for those already in other episodes for sure. But when I was in labor with Miss Sky, because she had come 6 weeks early, for me, I just kept telling myself, I'm not ready for this. And when I tell you, I kept repeating it over and over. It was like a record player, like on repeat. Wow. Like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. And I just kept saying it over and over and over. And this was the entire day. Wow. I was saying this thing to myself because I had all these things. First of all, we were in the middle of a move.
Yeah.
I had done nothing to this new apartment. I had done nothing baby focused, really. I mean, really, November was supposed to be my baby month for me to like get things done because I've been so busy with everything else. And that night, I remember that night Rich was there and he was like trying to sleep because I had, clearly the baby was not coming that night, but the contractions were just constantly coming. So he'd basically be sleeping through between my contractions. And I remember finally I was like, are you going to keep saying this? It was like literally like, how long are you going to keep saying I'm not ready? And how are you actually about to, because this baby is coming no matter what. So how are you actually about to get motivated and get ready to have this child in an environment where she feels loved? Sorry.
That's okay. I'll cut that.
But how are you about to have this baby in an environment where she feels loved? Like, This baby does not deserve to be born in a space where you're saying, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And that can apply to so many different areas of our lives. I mean, so many different areas. And so that night I started looking up, I said, let me look up Christian affirmations for labor. And I started looking up affirmations, and the biggest thing was just like, and I think I've said this a few times, is that like the scripture I said growing up was, God has not given me the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and of a sound mind. And mainly it was just so much fear around it. Like, what does this mean? She's coming 6 weeks early. I'm not ready for her. I'm not ready for this. Like, wrapping my head around the fact that what I thought I was going to have 6 weeks to do, now I actually have like less than 24 hours to do.
Jesus.
And and so that night I just started looking up affirmations, and I started saying affirmations. Like, I just kept repeating affirmations over and over and over. And I had to realize that as much as I wanted to be in control, I wasn't in control. So all I could do was my part, and the rest of it, I had to literally release control and let God have it and let Sky have it.
Yeah.
And so, and again, right, you can basically apply this to so many different things in your life. When you're trying to hold on so tight to something, sometimes you have to actually let that thing go. You have to release the tension. You have to release the control of it.
Yes.
Because you can only do what you can do.
That's so
and
true.
The rest of it, you have to literally let it go and let God do it, and let that thing actually run its course and do what it needs to do. In this case, it was my baby.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did all night. I found affirmations, and I just kept saying them over and over and over. And I said, wow, I've taken so many like incredible faith steps. I've also taken like these physical faith things, like jumping out of an airplane, but there is nothing that requires more faith than giving birth to a child. And I was like, this is my real test of faith. This is it. So all that stuff you've done in the past, like, it's like nothing compared to this moment right here. And so now, this is it. And so for those of you who haven't become moms yet, there's other things in your life that you're going to have that test your faith to this level. But those of you that are moms, like, go back and remember the faith it took for you to give birth.
Yeah.
You know, like that should make you feel like a superwoman right there. And that just kind of changed. It really changed everything. Yeah. It changed my outlook for the next few hours. It changed my words. Like, you really have to be careful about what are you replaying in your head over and over.
Absolutely.
Like, what is that record that you're playing over and over? Yeah. Because that thing has a way of showing itself true if you keep playing it over and over and over. Yeah. And so there were many lessons that came out of that for me, and hopefully for the great girlfriends. Yeah. Just, watching what you focus on, watching your words, saying affirmations, and then just letting go of control. So.
Very good. Yeah. I love that. I love it because, coming from the world of having no children and so many controls in place, and children teach you the power of a great variable.
Who you telling?
They do. They teach you. And in that, if you're wise enough, you learn. If you're not, you get frustrated, right? But if you're wise enough, you take the lessons that come with the gift of a child from conception to birth and beyond. They're just full of lessons, seriously. And like that motivation part, that's real. That was very good.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Oh, I have to ask you a question, right? Okay, so again, the person who asked us this, she had gone through, and I know you're about to say, Brian, this is another situation, but she had actually gone through a personal challenge. She was dealing with grief and the loss of her mom. And how do you stay motivated through that? Because grief doesn't have a time limit. Grief can pull up its head 10 years later, 5 years later, 15 years later. So whatever that personal challenge is, like, how have you stayed motivated through, stay motivated with business through personal challenges?
The same thing, for me, the gratitude piece is a root. right? And from there, everything stems off of that, because I know that when I center my mind around the fact that God is with me and that he's protecting me, he's loving me, he's nurturing me, he's doing all those things, but he's also sustaining my strength. And even to that grief point, I will say a couple of years ago, we suffered a loss of a great, a friend, a sister, someone who we were close to, my husband and I, that we had done some business with, and we were very personal with her, and we were two of the few people to see her before she passed. The night that her sister called us, and we came, and we went out with a couple of friends that night to see her, and a few hours later she passed. And we knew, everyone knew, and God has shown us, where she would, God has shown us that she was moving on. Okay. And that we needed to prepare. It was just when it hit, you weren't ready. Like, right. I thought I had 2 more weeks with her. I thought you want more. And it hit harder than I thought it would. And I think the reason that it did was because it became very real to me that all of our moments are temporal, and if we lose sight of the value we have every day and get caught up in, I'll see her next time, I'll see Brandis tomorrow, then we forget to be grateful for the time we do have. And so when I say gratitude is my root, gratitude helps me to stay focused on all of that's valuable right now, and how to make everything count right now. Right. Like in our conversation, I feel like we put all on the line. Yeah. We put it all on the line every time we talk. Yeah. I mean, we put it all on the line, as if this could be our last conversation. We put it all on the line, and we give the biggest hug or the biggest laugh or the biggest smile and so forth. And so when she passed, I had to remember that every moment we had with her, we put all on the line. So all was well. And that helped to resurrect gratitude for me. But what if just there may be a situation where somebody didn't put it all on the line. Yeah. And they're dealing with grief, and it could be a lot of personal issues, but we're just specifying or picking out grief right now. So what if that person passed and they weren't in the best relationship when it happened? Like, how do you stay motivated through that? First, for me, would be forgiving yourself. Yeah. Forgiving yourself for the decisions that you didn't make. Right. That you could have made. And forgiving yourself for the guilt that you're taking on at that point, because somehow it translates into what you could have done better. Right. And what you did everything you could. Right. At the time that you could. Right. And even if you didn't feel like you were putting it all on the line, you still did your best. Right. Because you did what you could. Right. And we can't turn back the hand. Yeah. All we can do is live in the present. Right. We can't I can't walk into tomorrow right now. That's so all true. I have is right now, today. God, that's so true. Right? All I have is right here. Yeah. So I might as well give everything right here. Wow. And not allow myself to get pulled back into yesterday. Right. We had a post about that. Don't bog down today with yesterday. Right. You want to stay motivated? Stop bogging down the day with yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday is gone. Right. So we have to physically allow ourselves to leave some things behind. Right. Things that don't add value, we have to leave them behind. And the beauty about life is that life always adds value. Yes. Life always adds value. So whatever a person gave you in the life that you had with them adds value to every day. Mm-hmm. Their passing on does not necessarily add the value, but the life that they gave you adds value, because Absolutely. It gives you memories that you can hold on to forever. And it's so true. With the friend that passed, I had to really quickly get myself reset and say, wait a minute, we had so much fun. Mm-hmm. We laughed so hard, and we hugged, and we did some silly things together, and we were able to do some empowering things together. And, God put us together through one connection from another connection. And who would have thought that we have the opportunity to share the time we had? Right. How grateful am I for what I learned from her and what she learned from me, right, and what I can take forward. I love that. And so I don't dwell on the fact that I saw her pass, like the pain that I saw her in, or those hard times. I don't dwell on that, but I do celebrate what we had, and I have to pause right now. We'll be right back after these messages. Hey, great girlfriends, it's that time of year again. We're inviting you to join us for the 2019 Great Girlfriends Doers and Disruptors Conference, June 13th through 15th in New York City. Our 3-day event includes exciting receptions, life-changing panels, connections, masterminds, and more. This year, we had over 100 women from around the world connect with like-minded girlfriends and create incredible memories. Now it's your turn to be a part of this exclusive event. Visit our website, www.thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com, to grab a ticket for yourself and for your greatest girlfriend. We hope to see you there.
Hi, it's your great girlfriend, Brandis Daniel. I am so excited to announce that I am now an author. Yes, I've authored a book sponsored How to Get Brands to Pay for Your Next Event. Over the last 10 years, I've secured over $2 million in sponsorships for my company, Harlem's Fashion Row, and now I am teaching you how to do the same. You can get my new book on www.mysponsoredbook.com.
That's it.
That's all.
Brandis had to pause me. I had to just take a little moment and just shed a few tears of love for my dear friend that I miss dearly. So, but anyway, so let's get in. Let's cap up with our 5 tips for staying motivated.
Okay,
how about it?
Let's do it.
All right, you kick this off so I can wipe some of these little tears from my eyes.
Okay, so number one. The first tip for staying motivated is stay focused. And that's just keep rehearsing your goals and your dreams in your mind and out loud and write them in visible places and reinforce your outcomes.
Amen.
So I don't know what else to say behind that. I mean, you just have to know what you're going after and really commit to it. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes we don't fully commit.
No, we don't.
We like halfway commit.
But some of it is in our heart, and the other part of it is that we complicate things by overthinking them and inserting memories and inserting what ifs and inserting a lot of doubts and things like that. So we have this war going on in our heads, and it doesn't allow us to stay focused.
It's hard. I mean, it's like the difference between going to stand in the 3 feet water. Mm-hmm. So you're halfway out, halfway in, and you know how it is. Like you can feel real comfortable, let's say from your waist down, mm-hmm. But like the more you go down, like you're cold. Yeah, like you really don't. You're really not in the pool until you like fully immerse yourself in the pool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Up until that point, people will splash water on you and you get cold. Because you never put the rest of your body in the water. Mm-hmm. So you really have to fully immerse yourself.
Yes. And it's so important to have it around you and in you and constantly stimulating yourself by just reinforcing it. Like if you're going to rehearse something in your head, which we're all going to do, we spend our day, you could be driving and you're just thinking. Think on the things that empower you.
Yes.
Right? Stay focused on the things that are going to help you to take your mission forward, and are going to keep you motivated, keep you energized.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 2 is to keep yourself enriched. You have to continue to read and listen to empowering people, materials, and tools, and never stop learning and perfecting your craft along the way. This is major enrichment. We gave you a list of really great materials that we use to enrich ourselves on a daily basis. And you have to keep yourself stimulated with empowering people.
Yes, because everything around us, the news is depressing.
Oh my gosh.
Social media gets you depressed. There's so many things coming against kind of you just staying in this very positive place.
And I feel like even now, to what you're saying, mental health challenges are at an all-time high.
Yeah.
We're seeing people go one day, to, next day bipolar, next day. These diagnoses are coming a lot faster these days. And I think it's because people are not necessarily finding ways to manage some of the mental and emotional things that come at us. But if we keep ourselves enriched, if we're constantly keeping ourselves stimulated, I really feel that it helps to keep us motivated. And it keeps our minds away from
absolutely
all the negative. Yeah.
And then I'm going to say number 3 is just get physical. Like when I wake up in the morning and I hit the gym, I feel unstoppable. First of all, when I'm on like the elliptical or like when I'm running on the treadmill or whatever, like my mind is going. Like I'm thinking of ideas. Like I'm working through problems that may have seemed like so complicated. Like literally the solutions are coming so easy that when I'm like just on the machine. So keep yourselves physically active. Like even if you just get out there and run for 5 minutes, like that 5 minutes will just give you like that boost of energy you need to just stay on top of stuff.
And honestly, straight up, it will boost your ego.
You
feel fine when you go to the gym.
It. Like I'm killing it. Yes.
You put on something just a little bit cuter on the days that you go to the gym because you know you put in the work.
You're like, I'm killing it. Yes, I'm telling you.
This is my favorite one, number 4, which is to practice gratitude.
Yes.
Brenda said something earlier, and I was like, "Oh, that's good." She said gratitude keeps you light.
Yes.
And I really do believe that. Gratitude keeps your heart light. It keeps your feet light. It keeps your head light. It keeps your body light. It keeps your mental state light.
It does.
When people see you, they're just like, wow, something different about you. Or how are you able to be so cool when everybody else is so, chaotic, or everyone else is so tense? And what makes you different? It's gratitude.
Yes.
It's gratitude.
It makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
There's a book that I read called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And that book talks about kind of how you should start each morning. And one of the ways was like starting your morning by like writing out the things you're grateful for. I think it's like, then you do another few minutes like doing physical exercise, and another few minutes doing affirmations, and another few so there's 5 different things. I can't think of all of them right now, but that's a great book to pick up. And even just starting your morning out, writing out things you're grateful for, it changes your entire day.
I know, and you don't have to be anywhere special. You don't have to be, you have dressed in a certain way. You don't have to be on top of your game to be grateful. You can be in the middle of nothing. You can have what you think is nothing, and you can stop and thank God for breath.
Yes.
Like gratitude, you can take the simplest form. You don't have to have everything perfect to be grateful.
No.
Right? You start with the basics. I thank you for this day.
Yes.
Thank you for the air I'm breathing. Thank you for blood vessels.
Yep.
And all the little intricacies of our body that we know nothing about.
Absolutely.
For ears. Aren't you glad you got ears?
Yeah.
I mean, the simple things, but we take them for granted. But what if we didn't have them?
Absolutely.
So it's like taking the time to really go very simple with gratitude. Don't start with the car or all these externals. Start with life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Absolutely.
start with that.
I
Number
love
5.
it. And the last thing is just keeping a close relationship with God helps you to stay motivated. Like,
hallelujah.
Understanding who He is and what He's able to do and how much He adores you. Like, when you think about, like, I think about how much I adore Sky. And that's just human love. So, how much He adores us and how big He is. And I know sometimes I'll start, like, when things start to get really heavy in my life, or a little bit like, dang it, this thing feels overwhelming. I'll start being like, thank you, God, for creating the ocean that covers like most of the earth. And thank you for keeping, like, creating land. And thank you. Like, I started thinking about like the big thing, like, thank you for holding the moon in the sky. And like all these things you start thinking about. And when you start thinking about that kind of stuff and being grateful for that, like, your little problems start to seem so little.
Yeah. And the other thing that reinforces for you too, Brandis, is that when you think about all the ways that we're incapable, like, I was completely incapable of connecting myself with you in Memphis. Otherwise, it would have happened.
Right.
We were one person away from
true. We were
years ago.
Several people away.
No, I'm saying like 1 degree of separation.
Yes.
Literally, we knew all the same people, but God had a specific time and purpose and reason for bringing that together. And it's like knowing that you're riding with the MVP. Honestly, it's like, all right, my strength is not enough. My capacity is not enough. But this great God got my back. So can I send your offering in? I'm joking, y'all, but you can send your offering. But seriously, when you think about the fact that he's got my back, so
Yeah.
I don't have to do everything on my own.
Yes.
God's got my back. It really does give you like this superhuman strength, peace, comfort, and ability.
Absolutely.
So it's like if you keep that close relationship with God, you always have that circling. Like, all right, I might not have enough right now, but God's got me. So anything can be a resource.
Anything can be a resource.
Anybody can be a resource.
Yes.
And it keeps you motivated.
Yes.
You get stimulated off of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Y'all,
note to end
before
now.
we have church, we are just so glad that you joined us today. We're going to reinforce them one more time. Our 5 tips for staying motivated. Number 1,
stay focused.
Number 2, keep yourself enriched.
Number 3, get physical.
Number 4, practice gratitude.
And the last one is keep a close relationship with God.
Yes, stay in touch with the Father. Amen. Well, we want to thank you guys.
Yes,
And we
thank
first
you. First want to thank our family.
Yes, thanks,
And
fam.
so I want to thank my incredible husband, Rich, who was so amazing throughout my labor process.
Oh,
I mean,
Rich.
so incredible. And
Yes.
who has the foresight to think 5 steps ahead of me every step of the way. And I love it. And to my little Sky Grace. Who just reminds me of God's unlimited grace, because that's what her name means.
Aww.
And I'm just so grateful for her. And to all my great girlfriends who have been circling and supporting me in the most amazing ways. I can do a whole episode just on that alone. Thank you. And to all of you who keep listening. Thank you. Like, Sybil, I feel like I'm taking over. I thank you.
Oh, you got this.
But
Go
like
ahead.
to girlfriends who like write us and you post on our page and tell us you think we should be on television. And one lady actually sent us a little gift and like, thank you so much. Like
Yeah.
it keeps us encouraged. We are beyond grateful for you.
Seriously, everything she said times 25 million. No, seriously, we can't thank you. I mean, we can't say it enough. We're in awe of the connection we've been able to build with so many awesome women. And
Yes.
so honored when you guys say things like, we love the show and we're happy to be a part of this movement. And seeing you on TV, and I'm like, man, that is so cool that you guys are participating in our vision.
Absolutely. And to Kwaku and
Yes, to my sweet hunk of love, Kwaku. Y'all know what that man does. I know I love that man. Thank you, babe, and thank you to my sweet, amazing bunnies, Sam and Dilly. I love those kids, y'all. I really do, and my mom and dad and sisters and brothers and cousins, everyone. We thank you. Make sure you visit our website
at thegreatgirlfriends.com.
Check out our Facebook page,
The Great Girlfriends.
Join our Facebook group.
Yes, The Great Girlfriends.
Yes, hit us up on Twitter.
__ great GFS.
You see she don't tweet y'all. And our Instagram, you know that one, right?
The Great Girlfriends.
Yes, post your questions, share with friends. Keep listening
and keep being a great girlfriend. We love you guys.
We love you. I'm Sybil.
I'm Brandis.
We're signing off.
Bye.
Bye.